I see dead people.
Welcome to Blondes and Booze. You are about to embark on a journey, one that often leads to more questions than answers. But fear not, your host, Krista, Aaron, and Brandy have the experience, the perseverance, and yes, even the gifts to pull back the veil and allow us to glimpse the other side. They will share not only their experiences, but will introduce you to world-renowned researchers and experiencers to help you find answers in the murky waters of what we call the paranormal. Their bonds with each other reach far beyond friendship, resulting in a pull no punches approach to the many subjects they explore. Their goal? To open eyes, hearts, and even minds to what lies on the other side, and the answers residing there.
Hey everybody, welcome to
Hi everybody.
Can you guys let us know out in chat?
You have me on mute, Krista, on the phone.
Oh shit. Can you guys let us know out in chat if you can hear me? And if you can hear Marty.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
And I can hear you on the phone.
Right. Can you guys hear me out there?
Yeah, now we're echoing.
Right. But can you guys hear me? That's because Marty says she can't hear me. That's why you hear the echo. I have her on the phone. Okay. Chat can hear me. It's just you that can't hear me.
That's so weird.
That is weird. Well, let's figure this
now
out.
We've got an awful echo.
Right. I got it on my side too. I wonder if I turn the volume down. Is that better? Okay. Can you guys still hear an echo?
Yeah.
It's because we're on the phone. Okay. AJ says they can hear both of us and my echo. So I'm not sure.
All right. Now can they hear you? Can you guys hear Krista now?
Hello? Can you hear me? Sounds like I'm in the Grand Canyon. Does it still sound like I'm in the Grand Canyon? If someone could comment. Okay. They said it's way better. They can hear. So that's weird. Can you hear me, Marty?
I turned the volume on my phone down.
Okay. Everybody says it sounds good now. Can you still hear me?
On the phone, yeah. Okay.
So we can continue with the show in a weird way. I have no idea. I apologize to everybody because, this is live show. And then Marty jumped on. She couldn't hear me. So I've been scrambling trying to figure out what my issue is. It worked just fine today for brunch. So I have no idea. No idea what's happening. So anyway, glad everybody showed up tonight.
Yes.
And again, this is live show, and our guest has not shown up yet. So as of now, you guys are stuck with Marty and I.
I think they're used to it by now.
Yeah, and that's okay. We'll make it work.
We will make it work.
We will definitely make it work. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for showing up. I see everybody out there in chat. And I thank you, Marty, for filling in for Brandy. As a lot of you guys may or may not know, Brandy is in Texas, and she is at the Haunted Hill House. And actually, after this show, we're going to go live with Brandy there, again with Marty, and then our friend Terry is going to hop on with us because it's her team that Brandy's with down there. So that'll be pretty cool. Hopefully we can see something and you guys can watch too. And then if you see something, comment and, we'll take care of it. So anyway, not really take care of it, but we'll address it. They can go investigate a little more. So
Yeah.
anyway, thank you all for coming. And Marty, you had an interesting weekend.
I did actually have a really interesting weekend. Yeah, we could talk
Anything
about
that
that.
you care to talk about?
Sure. Matt and I went to a wildlife management area that I've taken, the boys have been going since they were very young.
Mm-hmm.
And we just went out there and thought, well, you know what? Let's go and see if we can find the spot that I had my sighting at in
Mm-hmm.
1986 and just look around and see what we could see, and then decided, oh, you know what? Let's just do some lives. I mean, the weather was great and it was
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, and then we decided let's go live and do a live investigation Saturday night. So we did that, and that was
Very
fun.
cool.
We were just driving the levees. We were looking the levee that I actually had my sighting on. They've done so much, like just changing things around, and you know you can't get to that levee anymore.
Right.
But the
Wow.
levee that we were on in the live investigation was very, very similar, and in the exact same way it looked to what mine, where I had my sighting. So it's very, very close to the
Mm-hmm.
same look to it.
Wow.
So we didn't see a whole heck of a lot
Yeah.
that night, but we still saw some wildlife, and just the prospect of it all. It
Yeah.
was fun. It was a lot of fun. You never know what's going to be at the
Right.
end of your headlights, out there, because it's just pitch black. Can't see
Wow.
anything.
Did you? I know whenever I was on during your chat there,
Hmm.
you were showing like an alligator out there in the water. Like, we don't have alligators in Missouri, so I am not familiar with them. But
Yeah.
are they like nocturnal where you really have to pay attention at night and stuff, or do they sleep?
No, day or night. You got to be very careful, day or night. But
Wow.
but I don't know. I guess I'm just used to it. I mean, they don't really scare me all that much. We've
Hmm.
always been around them, and they're just a part of life here, and especially if you're, you go hunting or
Yeah.
hiking or camping. I mean, you have to be very aware. But I mean, they're not going to, they get curious. They get very
Yeah.
curious. They will come up and they will check you out. And if you're fishing, they may go after your bait, or if you catch a fish, they may try to take your fish or that type of thing. But they're not necessarily really, unless it's a mama gator protecting
Hmm.
babies, they're not just going to come at you. So,
Really? Well, I've heard that they can actually move pretty quick. And, like I said, I'm not familiar with them. And honestly, I don't know if like a dog man or an alligator coming at me would scare me worse.
I don't know. I don't, it was kind of just an interesting thing that Matt and I, Matt, because I went back I went to the back to the truck for something. And by the time I got back to Matt, he's like, yeah, I already called in a gator, because their dad taught my kids how to call in gators, with this call that they do. And it sounds like a baby
Right.
alligator in distress kind of sound. And so I look over and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. And so we had one on each side of us in the front, and then there was a couple behind us in the little canal behind us, and then
Oh, hell to the no.
I don't know, they don't scare me.
Wow. And I
They
guess, have you lived in Florida a long time though?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so you're used to them and all that
Long
good
time.
stuff. How close up do they come to you?
Well, we were up on the levee, so I mean, there's
Yeah.
it's on a, like, you're up high on the levee, and they're down into they were in a retention pond. they've had to really do a lot of changing around, and they have pump houses out there, and they constantly are moving water from one area to another area, and they're
Gotcha.
just always moving the water directions, pumping water out of here into here. And especially when storm season's coming up,
Right.
they pump a lot of the water out of the cities, and they
Yeah.
lower a lot of our ponds and lakes here to compensate for all the rain that we get during the rainy season. So
Okay.
the pump houses were really running, and you could hear them in the background in some of
Hmm.
our and I think in the first live you could
Right.
hear some of the pump houses running. But it's they're not very, very close to you. I
Okay.
mean, you just have to be aware that they're there. Like,
Yeah.
as long as you always in the back of your mind say to yourself, literally, there could be one
Yeah.
right there. Like, you're just more cautious.
Yeah. Gotcha. Here in Missouri, it's nothing like we go to the river, we jump in it. You can jump in the pond here. You don't do that there, do you?
Nope.
Yeah, that's just, and then I guess you would probably even have to worry about if you have like young children or pets or,
Hmm.
you know.
Oh, I'm always terrified about my dog because I have a little dog. She's little.
Mhm.
So she loves to chase the iguanas into the lake. She loves to do that. And then she'll
Wow.
stop right at the edge of the water, and I'm like, "Ah," and I freak out. I'm like, because that
Right,
that that is something that they will definitely be like, okay, beeline for, a small dog or a
right,
small child. Yeah, you
right.
have to be careful like
Well,
that. Yeah,
most
for sure.
definitely. Yeah, I just couldn't imagine. We don't have things like that here, and you guys actually like even like the snakes too, because you
Yeah,
guys got,
we're used to that.
yeah. I mean, we've got a
That's
few poisonous, venomous snakes here, but nothing like I think you guys have.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of we have water moccasins here. We've got, coral snakes. We have
Yeah,
pygmy rattlers. We have there is another rattler I think we have. I can't remember which one it is now, but yeah, we've got quite a few poisonous snakes here. So I'm always, whenever we're out,
yeah.
I got my boots on because
Right.
you just
You
never know.
just never know. Right. Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes total sense. We've got like copperheads and we've got some pygmy rattlers here and we've got cottonmouths and stuff like that, but they're really few and kind of far between. I mean, they're
Mm-hmm.
out there, but they're not aggressive. They would just as soon leave you alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but I feel like, like you're going out into, those marshy type areas, man, they got to be
Mm-hmm.
all over.
Yeah, we were really surprised that we didn't see any. But then again, my oldest reminded Matt and I both. You see them come up on top of the levees because usually they're coming up to get warm, right? And
Right.
it really wasn't cold enough. It
Yeah.
was only like 72 that night, so it
Yeah.
wasn't cold enough for them to come up to get warmth from the top of the levee on the road.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, because Matt and I kept saying the whole time, like, I can't believe we haven't seen any snakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We saw
When,
one, we saw one black racer
mhm,
early in the day on the way out there, and that's the
what
only
was it?
snake we saw all day. But
Wow.
but trust me, they're out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When we had Alexander Petikoff on the show, he was talking about his time there in Florida, and he like even just the landscape and what he went through is brutal.
Mhm.
So honestly, I commend you for getting out there doing that. Our woods is nothing compared to what you have.
Yeah,
I mean,
people say, "Oh, Australia, everything wants to kill you in Australia." Well, it's the same way here in Florida. If you're not careful, you have to be
yeah,
super careful. We have we have poisonous spiders, and we have snakes, and we've got alligators, and we have, to me, the thing that I guess I'm probably the most cautious about are the pythons, because
yeah.
pythons here can get, 15, 18, 20 feet long.
Wow.
and they have been known to find pythons with whole alligators in them. So
Oh my gosh.
if they can eat a whole alligator, a grown adult alligator, they can eat a full size human.
Easily. Easily. Yeah.
Hmm.
And they're not native either. Weren't they like somebody let some loose or something and then they just bred and
Correct. They are invasive. They do have like hunts,
Mhm.
where you can apply for permits and things like that, and you can go out and hunt them. Um, but
Wow.
yeah, they are dangerous. Those
Mhm.
are a completely different thing, like
Right.
they're going to be really close to the water, most of them, because they really
Okay.
are more of a watery kind of in the marsh thing. So
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Wow, that's crazy stuff, man.
yeah, it is.
Like I said, we just walk in the woods here. We might have to worry about a mountain lion, a bear, a wild hog or something. But yeah, you got it way worse than we do here.
And the ticks. I don't
Yeah,
like
we have
ticks. You
ticks
guys got the
too.
ticks.
Oh yes, you don't have ticks there,
Not really.
really?
No.
Oh
I
wow,
don't
no,
ever remember having a tick. I don't ever, I mean, only unless when I've been like in northern Florida, like northern Florida
yeah.
or north of Florida. Yeah, but never down here. I've never found a tick ever.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You see that's the one
I mean,
thing I
on
think.
dogs will get ticks, but I mean, when
Right,
we go hiking, I've
right.
never had a tick on me.
That is one creature that I feel like God had a sense of humor when he created. What is the point of a tick? Seriously, what are they good for? You know?
Nothing.
Right. Except they cost people money, they make people sick. And
Mm,
every year, I spend, I don't know, probably $400 a year just on tick and flea stuff for my dogs.
yeah, right.
Yeah, so
Krista,
it's
give me 1 second. My cat is trying to get out the door. Hold on one
sure,
minute.
you're good. You're good. You are good. Anyway, I like I said, our guest didn't show up tonight, but you know what though? That's the thing about live shows. It works. And fortunately Marty, she agreed to co-host this tonight with me, and so it works out good. So if there's anything you guys want to chat about, comment in the chat, and we can try to talk about it. Like I said, Brandy's down in Texas, and the place that she's at is it's pretty notoriously haunted place. It's been on a lot of TV shows, and so
Can't
I'm
wait.
look yeah, I'm looking forward to that myself. So if any of you guys, we're gonna go after this show. We're gonna do 10 p.m. Central Time, and it'll be a different link, but it's already out there and created and all that good stuff. So you guys, if you're up, definitely tune in with us, and hopefully they can catch something. We all get to see it.
Yeah, that's the exciting part, like with the lives, right? So you just never know what can happen.
No,
Either
you
tons
don't.
of stuff can happen or nothing.
Yeah. Scott says you could all talk about baking cookies or oh, here it is. What did he say? You could talk about baking cookies or taking the garbage out and we'd listen. Well, thank you, Scott.
Aw, that's so cool. Nice. Thank you.
So we do have a question here. I'm going to slaughter your name, and I don't want to slaughter your name, but Demos Mars asks, "What's the scariest encounter both of you have had with anything paranormal?" I'll let you go first, Marty.
For me, the
Mhm.
scariest thing was we were at the Tatum house in Mayaka, and
Mhm.
I I had a negative entity try to jump me,
Oh
and
wow.
it was the very first time that it ever happened to me,
Hmm.
and that was scary. And Matt got it on film, the
Oh
whole thing.
wow.
He got the
Wow.
entire thing on film. Yeah, so that was
Wow.
the scariest. What about
Mhm.
you?
I guess I could say I have a couple. One when I actually did deal with a true demonic entity, and it was a true demonic entity that scared me. However, when you're dealing with those things, you can't show any fear, and
Right.
as hard as it was to do, you got to be confident. And after it was over, man, I like melted, because I was scared shitless. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that would be one. And then I've been choked a couple times in 2 different places. That wasn't any fun. So yeah,
Holy cow. Well,
yeah,
did you like actually feel like as if there were hands choking you?
yeah, both times. The first one was
And yet
probably,
those were not demonic entities?
they were just nasty human spirits.
Huh.
Yeah, the one was
Just
we were up in a bedroom that's known to have a negative entity in there, and
mm-hmm.
I fortunately I had a teammate with me, and he seen I was struggling to breathe because I could feel you could feel the hands, and he actually got me down the steps, and once I was outside, I could I was like gasping. Yeah, got me
Whoa.
outside, and then I was okay, and then second time was at another location. I was sitting in a genealogy room at 6 o'clock in the morning, and the nasty that was there decided to
Wow.
choke me out again. So once I got outside, I was okay. Yeah,
Oh, that is scary.
yeah. So those are my two my two as far as human spirits, and they were
Mm,
both definitely human, just nasties. And that's the thing, a lot of these nasties, as you know too, Marty. They try to portray themselves as the demonic and but they're
yeah.
nothing like a true demon.
Yeah.
Even
I
they
mean,
and they can still hurt you.
yeah. I mean, I had an entity in a hotel room. We were using the dowsing rods,
Hmm.
and I had an entity like trying to communicate with with me, and it just at first I thought it was one of my guides or my guardians that I was talking to
Hmm.
at first in the very
Yeah,
very beginning. And then I quickly realized, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This is an energy. I'm like, what's
yeah,
going on? Then it's like your brain goes through that Rolodex, like what's going on, what's going
yeah.
on. You're like trying to like flip through really quick, like what
Hmm.
and identify so you know what way to pivot to, right?
Yeah.
And it just started this bizarre trying. It was a very okay. So I know that I can channel, and
Hmm.
it's wanted to channel through me, but I could tell that it wasn't something I was supposed to be channeling, and I don't even
Right.
know how I know that, but
Right.
it didn't feel
Just
right.
knew. Yeah.
And I had to kind of shut it down and stop it. And that was, I guess that was a little scary for me too, because I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that. It was
Right.
definitely, trying to be a little trickster.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And they will do that.
you gotta be so super careful.
Hmm.
You do.
Yeah. Yeah. Fortunately, I have learned over the years with messing with a few true demonic cases. Like my body tells me when something is a human spirit or a demonic entity. A human nasty spirit, like I can tell there's the spirits in the room. You know that how you get that
Hmm.
feeling. But a true demonic entity, I get dizzy and I feel like I'm going to pass out.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm
our
like,
bodies will
uh
tell
oh.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That's why I always tell everybody when we do our events, I mean, the equipment and everything is great, but your body is your own best piece of equipment.
Yeah. We are absolutely biosensors,
Yes.
plain
Yep.
and simple.
Yeah.
Biosensors. If
Yeah.
you pay attention to
Hmm.
what's going on around you and how your body is feeling in that moment,
Right.
I guarantee you, I call them tells, right? Like,
Hmm.
playing poker, right? You can
Yeah.
see somebody's tell, right? That's
Right.
kind of what I like. That's how I can always usually identify, like, if I'm feeling like the energy of a Sasquatch or, you
Hmm.
know, a spirit, like a regular spirit, human spirit. I can
Yeah.
I can kind of determine what it usually is by how their energy feels.
And you know what I think is cool because you can feel the Sasquatch. I've never like had it where I've been out and I know they've been close, but I've never like where my body's told me. And I think that's kind of cool that you do.
Or maybe you haven't you just didn't recognize it, because I think sometimes people get very like caught up in the should I be afraid or should I not be afraid in the moment? And you
Right.
don't pay attention to what's really going on in your body.
Right.
But if you're saying that you're so sensitive to demonic spirits and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, I would imagine you'd be able to feel it. You'd be able to feel their energy. But you have to kind of like relax enough into it to kind of
Mm-hmm.
just pay attention to what. But
Yeah.
for me, it's the exact same thing every time. I get a
Mm-hmm.
heaviness in my chest and I feel like I can't breathe, like somebody's sitting on my chest.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
then I can start then I'm like, okay, hold on, wait a minute. I'm having trouble breathing. I'm feeling super tight. And then from there I try to just kind of figure out like and make
Yeah.
sure, is it my anxiety I'm feeling or is it the Sasquatch? And then I that's when I can start working things out in my mind, but I have to recognize it first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said a key word too. And I think you said you have to relax. And I know, like, just when I've been to the LBL, I am far from relaxed.
Easier said than done, right?
Yeah. So, maybe that's why, where, like I said, I've dealt with ghosts for so many years, and they really truly don't scare me.
Hmm.
But however, you drop me off out there in the middle of the woods and we're looking for a dog man. I'm a little freaked out. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Well, during our live last weekend, there was a point in the investigation where we did get out of the car and we were looking around and we heard some stuff. We heard things, and I I think it was Gene. I think it was Gene
Hmm.
Hudson had asked me if I felt anything,
Hmm.
and if and I hadn't tried. I honestly had not tried to connect with them at all
Hmm.
at that point. I still had not because I was driving. I wasn't really trying to connect with them.
Yeah.
So I kind of stood there and I kind of like tried to reach out, trying to kind of like feel, put out.
Right.
What I do is, I guess the easiest way to explain what I do is I concentrate on my own energy
Hmm.
and then I send my energy. It's like I push my energy out away from me and out,
Okay.
and then I bring it back. And when I bring it back is when I
Hmm.
can that's usually when I can tell if something is around. And then at that point, that's when I try to identify what it is I'm
Gotcha.
feeling, what it is I'm picking up. So, and it was very strange because I was hearing something on the other side of these trees. It was like I kept Matt didn't hear it. It wasn't
Hmm.
footsteps. It wasn't anything like that. It was almost as if there was something kind of brushing the leaves on
Yeah.
this tree, but on the back side of it, I could hear something. It
Right.
was definitely tall. It's not like it was low
Hmm.
to the ground.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing this brushing back and forth. And I was trying to connect. I knew something was there, but I couldn't tell what it was. It didn't feel Sasquatch at all. And then all I was getting, and I said to Matt, I said, even though it's the Everglades,
Yeah.
I still didn't know if there were any Native American, anything to do with Native Americans in that area. And I said to Matt, I said, do you know of any like Native American kind of information or whatever in this area? And he didn't know
Right.
because all I was getting was Native American images.
Hmm.
And it just, but I don't know what that meant. It was kind of
Right.
like, but it didn't feel like a spirit or,
Hmm.
so I'm not sure what really it was.
Wow. That's crazy.
It was a little weird, I have to
Yeah.
say.
That's
Um,
that's kind of like how my Bigfoot encounter was, because, like, I knew I was sitting outside. It was the middle of the night, me and my dog, and I got this overwhelming feeling of being scared. And like I said, the place we were at, I was in had my camper. We were camping, and I knew there's ghosts there, and I've been out there many times, never had
mhm.
any. never been scared. And this particular night, like I was scared, like something wasn't right. And I knew, and I kept telling myself, it's a ghost. And then I'm like, it's not a ghost because, I don't get scared with ghosts. So that's, yeah. And then I found out several months later that it was a Bigfoot out there. So, but I wasn't, that was the last
But
thing I
your
was thinking.
body was being a biosensor.
Right, right. Maybe when I get scared, maybe that's my because everybody's body reacts different, to
Mm-hmm.
different things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That's all I can say. And honestly, Sasquatch was the last thing I was ever even thinking about. And
Sure.
me and my friend Kathy, we joked that, oh, it's probably some raccoon out there watching us, and here we are, getting freaked out by raccoon. And my friend Jessica Potter, she the mermaid medium, she was out there, and just out of the blue, she asked Kathy and I, tell me what happened over there. She said, I see a camper, but not that camper that was there, because my camper wasn't there at that time. And she said, along that tree line, what happened to you guys? And we
Uh-huh.
thought we looked at each other because we never thought anything else about it.
You didn't
And then
even
it hit
didn't
us.
it didn't even like register.
No, no. And she looked straight at us and she says, you had Sasquatch watching you.
And then it made sense.
Made total sense. Yeah. And for her to pick up on, we didn't post it on Facebook. We didn't even talk about it, and
Yeah.
she picked up on everything. I have no reason not to believe her that was my Sasquatch encounter.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
just,
I did have a couple I did have somebody reach out to me
Mhm.
after the live was over and what they thought or what
Yeah.
they picked up on. And
Yeah.
I the funny thing is I'm not gonna say it. I can't say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Mhm.
But what I initially almost said two times what I
Mhm.
thought it was, I didn't say because I was
Right.
like, I can't say that because if I say that,
Right.
every single person's gonna be like, she's so foolish, you know what?
Yeah.
And so I didn't say it, but then I was but then I did say that I saw, I had these images, these Native American images that were
Yeah.
also coming to me. But it was interesting that this person reached out and was kind of like, this is what was there.
Yeah.
And it was what I thought. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you just never know, I
Yeah.
just, I don't know. There's so much out there that we don't understand and we don't know, and we're all searching, as Barton
Yes.
says, the truth.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
You just got to be a truth seeker and you just have to be open,
Hmm.
open to what's going on around you because there's so many things out there that
Yeah.
go way beyond just a cryptid or,
Yeah.
a spirit or a dog man or
Right.
there's so many other things that are out there that we don't even know. I
Right.
mean,
There is. There absolutely is.
you
Wait,
know.
I don't know. Scary stuff. We have
Mhm.
some questions out here. I guess we
Okay.
can answer them. Well, this one here is for you. Titan 70 says, Nana, do y'all have a lot of cryptid sightings over there with all the gators and pythons about?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. Actually, Florida, and not a lot of people know this. Florida is number 3 in sightings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, rating. We have the third most amount of sightings behind California and Washington State. So
Wow.
Florida is number 3 in sightings. So
Yeah.
we do have a lot of sightings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. And I mean, it's plenty of food, plenty of water.
Oh yeah.
And I guess these creatures. I mean, obviously they're thick skinned. To be able to,
Hmm.
you know, because they're seen in the winter, they're seen in the summer, they're seen in the snow, they're seen in Florida. So
Yeah.
I mean, their
I mean,
bodies are made for those harsh habitats.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And here in Florida, I mean, all they would have, okay, well, I can only go by I go by my daytime sighting because my nighttime sighting was at night. It looked Neither one of my sightings looked anything like Patty. Okay.
Hmm.
Everybody, Patty is beloved in the community.
Right.
Beloved. And neither one of my sightings looked like Patty. They didn't have the body structure. They didn't have the mass. They didn't have the color. They didn't look anything like Patty. So I do think that here in Florida they are smaller. I do
Yeah.
believe that. And there's that whole like I can't remember what it's actually called, but it's they talk about the equator, that animals south of the equator are usually generally smaller in build. They don't have to have the bulk and the mass to get through harsh
Right.
winters and that type of
Right.
thing. So I think that's probably accurate in my opinion. I
Yeah.
don't know everything. I don't
Right.
know everything of, at all. But I
Right.
think that's true. I mean, my daytime sighting, I want to say it was 7 to 7.5 feet tall, and more built like a basketball player build,
Mhm.
not like a big gigantic football player,
Like
a
lanky, maybe,
basketball,
kind of
lanky
lanky.
basketball kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah, I think here in Florida we've got plenty of water. I mean, the topography here is unbelievable. We have
Hmm.
tons of food, water everywhere. I
Wow.
mean, you know, there's lots of places for them to like hunker down in the shade and a little, where there's water because
Hmm.
it's swampy and there's water to keep them cool and plenty of food sources.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Crazy stuff. There's a follow-up question for that, for what you just said. Nana, follow-up. Do you have the Patty type over there or Gugway sightings?
I've never seen personally anything that looked like Patty.
Hmm.
I will say on my channel, um, I had the day I had my daytime sighting, I was taking photos,
Hmm.
and in my photos, I captured something that I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It did not look anything like what I saw that day. I do show the photos, I discuss them, I do an entire breakdown, I give you the context, I share my metadata, and I kind of go through what the possibilities are, whether it's maybe
Yeah.
a dog man, maybe it's a. There's two photos that were taken less than a second apart that show movement.
Yeah.
That you see a side view where it's like this. It was because Matt was over to my left and my daughter-in-law was
Hmm.
at my on my right side. So in one frame, in one photo, you see it looking like as if it's looking at Matt, and then the next photo you see full face and looking
Hmm.
at me.
Oh, wow.
So those photos are there. I want to say I called it Dogman Evidence Revealed, I think is the name of the episode. Because
Yeah.
everybody who sees those photos,
Hmm.
that's exactly what they tell me that it is.
Wow. Wow. That's really cool. So everybody knows, I dropped the Nana Boss's YouTube channel in the comments. So go over and watch that video. And you were talking about the pictures, like you took successions of pictures.
Yes.
And
Uh-huh.
I'm a huge believer in that. So something like that to me, and I'm not knocking people's pictures. So please don't think that. Don't give me any hate mail here, chat. But like, I believe that they need to be taken in threes or fives because,
Yes,
as
five.
you said, yes,
Yeah.
you've seen something different. It moved. That is credible evidence to
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
I,
there were five. Yeah, there were five photos in succession from left to right. there was nothing. Then it's there looking at towards Matt. Then it's in the next frame, it's looking at me, and then nothing, nothing.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. See, stuff like that is pretty legit to me because, and that goes with, I don't care if it's cryptids, UFOs, ghosts, whatever you're taking pictures of,
Mm-hmm.
take multiples, because you have something to back it up with,
Yeah.
and
And I think on the show, I have the two photos side by side,
Mhm.
literally.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. Let me see if I can find them and share them.
Okay.
I think I can share them. Hold on,
Okay.
and I will get them. Hold on one second.
Awesome. Yeah. I just, you know, even if it's even a lot of people complain about blurry pictures, even if it's a blurry picture, but that blur has moved, you can see it, it's the same thing, but that blur has moved, that still holds value to me, because there was more than one picture taken. And I don't know, I'm just kind of a stickler, I guess, when it comes to pictures, just because I see so many that could possibly be pareidolia. However, if you have something to back it up with and be like, hey, this isn't pareidolia, and if you see something moved, as Marty was showing, you know,
Yep.
it's not pareidolia. You have something to back it with. So
All right.
anyway,
Now, let's see
yeah.
if I can present these. If I can
Yeah,
share
Brian
this.
says,
Ooh. Ooh, I think I can do it.
cool. Brian says there's actually some very compelling evidence out there, some so good it will never be seen. I agree. I agree. I'm going to put this up here. Oh, wow. You can definitely see it moved. Holy
Uh-huh.
cow. Holy moly.
Yeah.
You don't even need a red circle on that, sister.
Nope.
Wow. And you can definitely tell it's the exact same location. You
Mm-hmm.
see the tree, looks like a log or something laying down there. I mean, it's the exact, holy smokes.
Yeah.
That looks like a dog man to me.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great photo.
Yeah.
Photos.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is the first photo where you see the side profile,
Yeah.
you you kind of really don't see ears. But
Yeah.
in the second photo, it appears that he has ears.
Yeah. They're very pronounced.
But the snout, there's this strange snout to me that doesn't really look like a Bigfoot. You know what I mean? It definitely
No.
comes off the face.
Yeah. My guess is it would be a dogman.
That's
I
what
mean, you
everybody.
can see the snout definitely, and almost like a dog. Seriously, like the end of the
Mhm.
nose on the one where he's looking straight at you,
Yeah.
and the one to the side, you actually almost like see a nose.
Yeah, you can actually see like the raise of the nose that it kind of
Yeah,
comes, the cheek comes up and it kind of bumps. You can see it.
yeah. Wow, that's awesome photos. Gene Hudson says, "Told you, Marty, it was a dogman." and then Gary says, "It's a dogman."
Yeah. Yeah.
Titan 70 says, "That's a dogman."
Yeah.
Marty, I
And
would
like I
say you
said,
got a dogman.
yeah. But here's the interesting thing. I had got, I had just seen I had my daytime sighting,
Hmm.
and what I saw was Auburn, a very uh, beautiful, like auburn hair, short, ashy
Hmm.
gray skin, and that's.
Hmm.
And I saw him from the like right here up,
Oh, wow.
and it was only about 50 feet away from
Holy,
whatever that thing is or
yeah.
was.
So let me ask you, when you took those pictures, have you been back there to kind of like to see, was it crouching down, or could you tell if it was standing up,
It
or?
would no, it was definitely standing up. Let me show you the original. I'll show you the
Okay.
original photo.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I'll show you the original. This is
Jean
the
says,
original.
I also told you they can lay them back, talking about the ears. Paranormal Pixie says the ears alone give it away. And then Jean says, also told you they can be seen together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah,
All
those are great
right.
pictures.
Okay, so this is the original.
Okay.
Now, I am literally standing at the edge of the
Mhm.
trail.
Okay.
So he is, if you see the palm tree right in the middle of the screen,
Yes.
look to the left
Mm-hmm.
and then up just right where in the middle of the picture there to the
Yep.
left.
I do believe I see it. I'm going
I
to
don't know
make
if
it
you can
big on
see
my
where
screen real quick. Oh, yeah.
you
Yep.
see where it is.
I do.
So
Wow.
that is about 75 feet away from where I am,
That's
where
pretty
I'm
darn
standing.
close.
But he's tall because
Yeah.
that palm tree there is about 14 feet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he's got to be going eight and a half
Yeah.
ish, something between 8 and 9.
Wow.
And the Sasquatch I saw was not that tall.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The,
That's
Sa-
scary.
the
Scary stuff.
Sasquatch I saw was to the right
Mm-hmm.
about, I don't know, 50 feet or so past on the other side
Wow.
of that palm tree.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible photos. Thank you for sharing them.
Sure.
That's awesome. That is, wow. And once again, it goes back to the pictures, why you got to take more than one,
Yeah.
you know, it
And
shows
and
some.
I and I just I really believe in sharing your metadata
Mm-hmm.
because that really shows that those two photos were taken in succession, less
Yeah.
than 1 second apart from each other.
Right.
It's not like I took it, waited 20 minutes, and took another
Right.
one of the. No, it was literally less than a second.
Yeah. Long enough for him to turn his head.
Yep.
That was all it took.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. We got some more questions.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let's throw one up here. Brian asked, do you think that personalities follow over? Can spirits change their outlook after death? That's a great question, Brian. What do you think, Marty?
I think they can. I also think that, yeah, I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, I always say that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that they have free will there, just like
Mm-hmm.
we do here, and they had it here when they were here. And the reason I say that is because you hear a lot of people talk about, when mediums will give you a
Mm-hmm.
reading, that maybe your loved one will has
Yeah.
a different outlook,
Right.
right? Now that they're on the other side and
Mm-hmm.
maybe they have some regret or things like that that
Right.
they want to let you know or something. But then
Mm-hmm.
again, like I had a reading that was done for me, and one of my relatives is still on the other side, just like she was
Yeah.
when she was over here.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah. I guess I've always kind of believed, I try to believe all people are good, and so if you're good in life, you're good in death. If you're a jerk in life, I feel like you're a jerk in
gonna be a
death.
jerk in death.
And maybe they can change, like you said, and I believe like spirits and ghosts are two different things. I believe when someone, gives a reading, those
Hmm.
people, like, they have free will. They can come back here, they can give the messages, and they can go on again,
Hmm.
to where they go. However, a ghost, I feel like they're just here all the time. They don't,
Yes.
go to.
Yeah, haven't crossed over yet. Right.
Right, right. So, and that's why I don't know. I've always said that. I feel like if you're good in life, you're good in death. If you're bad in life, you're bad in death. It's just my 2 cents.
Absolutely right.
Who knows? Hopefully, we'll know one day.
That's right.
Paranormal Pixie says, "Have either of you ladies ever encountered animal spirits?"
No, I don't think I have.
No.
Well, I mean, sometimes I think I see a cat. Sometimes,
Yeah.
and I have had a few cats pass away, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I'm. It could not have been. So I don't know. What about
Right.
you?
I have actually. I at the Ray County Museum, where it's kind of my home base, where I ghost hunt out of. There is a spirit of a cat there, and it's attached to. I can't even think what the old farm piece of equipment is, but that's what it's attached to.
Huh.
So, yeah, and it's a cat. And also, there's another place in Excelsior Springs, Missouri, called the Hall of Waters, and there's a cat there. And I felt a cat like, you know how a cat will rub up against your legs. I
Yes.
felt that at the Hall of Waters.
Oh, I just got chills.
Yeah. So I think animal spirits, I think they still want to be loved from the other side.
Well, I mean, do you ever? I don't think I've ever heard of a report of a dog. Have you? Only
No.
cats, actually. Now that we're on this subject talking about it, I
Yeah.
think I've only heard about cats.
Yeah. I've never, you know, oh, Erin Smith, my friend Erin from the museum. She said it's attached to the corn husker, so she knew exactly what I was talking about. But there's a room in that basement that has an old corn husker, and the cat's attached to it.
That's
So
so interesting.
yeah, so and I don't know the
Do you think that it's like it's a residual thing? Like it spent a lot of time there, like around that piece of equipment, and
I don't know. I don't think it's part of the museum. We had a really well known, very good psychic medium come in there and tell us,
wow,
and it's not
okay.
only the cat that's attached, but there's also a man attached to it. So I feel like maybe the cat's with his owner, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
That would make
It's a,
sense.
yeah. So it's interesting stuff, I think. But yeah, let's see. Next question. Titan 70 says, Krista, Nona, have you all ever encountered little people?
I have not.
Me either. I have not.
No.
But you know what? When we come back, I will talk about some elementals that I did encounter. We got to take a 5 minute break. So if
Okay.
everybody sticks with us, we will be back in 5 minutes. And
You
yeah, we
got
can
it.
talk a little bit on the elementals, the one and only time I've ever had encounters with them. So, all right, we'll be right back, guys. 5 minutes.
Four minutes to go, folks. 4 minutes. 3 minutes. We're almost there. Two-minute warning, guys. 2-minute warning. One minute. 1 minute.
Hey, we're back. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us.
Yes.
Yes. So, real quick, before we move forward, I want to remind everybody on Monday to watch Texas Front Porch at 8 p.m. Central. Usually Brandy does this, so you got to bear with me. I'm going off the top of my head here. So 8 p.m. Texas Front Porch with Tex and Brandy on Monday nights. Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central is Van Buren Variety with Bob. 8 p.m. Central is Beyond BMR. Then on Wednesdays is Jason McLean Questions Everything with BMR and Donnie Cho. Thursday, noon is Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob and myself. And then Thursday night, you get this one, Blondes and Booze. And Friday night, you got Blondes, Booze, and the Woo. And then Saturday, you have Tex and Danielle Diva with Infamous Minds.
You got
All my
everyone.
memory. Yes.
You know,
Brandy
you know
does it so much better, though.
I have to say, Bob Van Buren, I think he's the most positive person I have ever seen ever.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy.
He is like, I think if like a bird pooped on his hat, that he would be like, oh, it's just relieving itself. Like he's like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like he's just so
right.
positive and just so sweet and kind natured.
I would wholeheartedly agree with you on this.
Yeah.
There's one more thing I want to bring up here. Well, actually, let me find it here. If anybody is in the Alabama area, we will be at the Alabama Bigfoot Conference, and we were
You'll get to meet Stacy.
Yeah, we get to meet a whole bunch of people,
Yeah.
and I'm excited about that. Tex is going to be speaking, and actually, Brandy and I were just asked to speak at the last minute, so we've been
Oh
working
my
on our
God.
presentation.
Oh, that's so
So
exciting. Yeah.
yeah, that'll be fun. And then, as some of you know, I had dinner last night with Jessica Jones, the Cryptid,
Oh,
and
isn't she a hoot? I love
oh my
her.
God, I love her.
Yeah,
I
she's a
do.
blast.
And she said she was going to try to hop over on that Saturday too. So anybody in the area, come say hi to all of us. That'll be cool. And then on July 8th, we're doing an event at Malvern Manor. And then we have Josh Hurd, Dr. Rebecca Foster, Richard Estep, Terry Mosby, Tex, and Brandy, and myself. And that's going to be a good night because we'll have a little bit of everything going on. And
That's
then the next one I want to talk about is Gatlinburg, the Bigfoot Conference. And if you guys come over to that one, tickets are on sale now. Marty's coming and she's going to hang
yes,
out with us. So
yes,
I'm looking forward to that, to meet you in
yes.
person finally.
I know. I'm so excited. I can't
Yeah,
wait. I can't wait.
I'm excited about that one too.
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of trouble, huh?
Yes. And I got both of my sons coming. So
Awesome.
yeah, so
Very
they're
cool.
gonna be around and it's gonna be so much fun.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have a good time. We
Mhm.
are. We are.
Oh yeah, gonna get in some trouble. We
Oh
better
yeah,
have some bail money in the savings account just in
right.
case. You never know. We could get into all kinds of trouble, you know?
You never know.
You never know.
But the
So
main
y'all
point,
have to come to Gatlinburg so y'all can chip in and bail me and Krista and Brandy out, you
right?
know?
Right? Scott says, I'm really trying to get to Gatlinburg. Well, we'd love to meet you, Scott. So if you can get over there,
Absolutely.
come and see us for sure. We have a
Absolutely.
booth, and like I said, Marty's going to hang out with us. I know Barton Nunley, who was on BMR's show today, he's going to be there with us.
Hmm.
Martin Groves
I can't
is going
wait
to
to
be there
meet
as well.
everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard a rumor that there's another team that's coming that a lot of you know, and I'm not going to say their name because I'm going to wait and let them announce it first. But Marty, I know you know who it is. So anyway,
I think I do. I think I know a little bit. I think a
yeah,
little bit I know what it
yep.
is.
So you'll be in for a bonus surprise if you guys come over and see us. So anyway, well, let's get back onto weirdness.
Okay.
Uh, okay, I noticed people in chat are talking about animals, and here's another thing Jean said: pet psychic talks to dogs and even elephants.
Hmm.
I actually, my heart dog, his name was Diesel, and he was an English Mastiff. And he was
Oh.
old when I lost him. He actually outlived any English Mastiff I've ever had, and I've had him for years.
Oh.
And he died in 2018. And my friend who psychic medium, he messaged me and he said, I just want you to know that Diesel is with Detroit and they're waiting for Maggie. And so that totally resonated with me because this person, he didn't know. He's like, what, did you get Diesel in Detroit? And I started laughing. I said, no, I actually had another English Mastiff named Detroit, and Diesel and Detroit were buddies.
Oh.
Yeah. And then
Mm.
Maggie was a blue healer that I had at the time. And so I totally believe that psychic mediums, because I had it happen, and they can reach out, they can read animals. Animals can come forth.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Titan 70 just gave you a nice super chat. It's for bail money, Krista.
Awesome. Thank you, Titan. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Titan.
We're gonna need that bail
Yeah,
money.
we're gonna need it.
Thank you very much, Titan. We definitely appreciate you doing that for sure.
Absolutely.
We'll try not to get too much trouble.
Yeah. We'll keep it PG for one night at least.
Maybe 13. PG 13. Oh, it is going to be a fun time.
It's gonna
It's
be
going to be
great.
a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, like I said, I received a reading on my personal pet, and I just thought that was cool. So I am a believer that psychic mediums can read animals and living animals too.
Yeah,
You know?
yes, I have seen that and heard that where
Mhm.
they can communicate with them,
Yeah,
telepathically.
yeah,
But see,
but
that's another thing, right? Like, okay, so if it's not too far of a stretch for someone to telepathically connect with
mhm,
a dog or a cat or
right.
any other animal, then why is it such a far stretch for people to think and believe that we can connect
Mhm,
telepathically to, a Sasquatch or a dog man or
yeah,
any other kind of elemental, right?
right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So it makes sense to me. It all just,
It does to me too.
yeah.
Definitely. Brian asked, what about the black shuck? It's a malevolent dog like spirit associated with death. There are also some accounts of canine spirits around the world, some that led lost people to safety. That's interesting.
I've never heard of the black shuck.
I haven't either.
I gotta
I
write
haven't.
that one down.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to Google that. Thanks,
Yeah.
Brian, for getting our curiosity going.
Oh yeah, I gotta research that sucker because I have never heard of that before.
No. And could it maybe be like a hellhound?
Oh yeah, maybe. Is it Brian? Is it like a hellhound or is it something totally different?
Yeah, if you could, Brian, comment on in the chats and let us know. You know,
Shuck. All right.
Be Kind made a funny comment. I do got to read this to you. It says, "Hey, good girls rarely make history, you know."
That's true. That's so true.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh man. Okay, so we got another question here. Titan says, "This is a one-off. Have you ever dealt with curses, whether spoken or in an object? If so, how did you deal with it?"
I no.
Yeah, I haven't either. Fortunately, I've never dealt with a curse. Now,
Mm,
I have been around haunted items. I don't know if you
mm.
would necessarily call that a curse, but
I don't
I
Well, I
don't know.
mean, if they're attached to the item, but it doesn't really mean that
Right,
it's cursed.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
I don't know. I have not dealt with anything. I've never even really had like a haunted item either. Well,
really.
I can't say that. What I can
Yeah.
say is I had a Native American spirit that followed me home from Mayaka,
Hmm.
and he attached himself to a Native American item that I had here in the house. And
Gotcha.
so I had to move him and the object out of the
Hmm.
house because he doesn't want to cross over and he doesn't want to go back where he came from. But
Right.
he's not in any
Negative.
way negative or
Yeah.
causing issues. It's just my
Right.
dog could see him and she was very like unsettled by it and it was
Yeah.
driving her crazy that he was in the house. And then once I moved him outside, which I've done that. I've had a few. I've got a
Hmm.
few in my backyard, but
Yeah.
if they don't want to cross over or go where they came from, but
Right.
what am I
Right.
gonna do?
Right. You just never know. At the museum I was talking about, there she has a puzzle that was donated to her,
Hmm.
and I think it's like 1,000-piece puzzle, and nobody has been able to put that puzzle together. And she's counted the pieces. The pieces are there, but nobody has ever been able to put that puzzle together. So I find that
Interesting.
interesting. And we were
Hmm.
told by our psychic medium friend that it's an elderly lady that is attached to that puzzle.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
Amber finds, she goes into all these thrift stores and all kinds of things, and
yeah,
she like looks for haunted items, and I'm
yeah,
like, I'm not going out looking for trouble. You know what
right.
I mean? Like me personally, I'm not going out looking for it.
Yeah, me either. And that's why I don't go antiquing. I don't have any antiques in my house. I barely buy stuff from a garage sale.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to bring nothing home, and I don't want to, it's one thing for me, but I don't want to put my family in harm's way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Listen, even the stuff I get from Amazon, I order on Amazon, it comes in my house, I sage it. Okay. I'm
Yeah,
just
there you go.
because you
There
just
you
don't
go.
know who's touched it and who's been handling it and where it's come from and whatever. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. Well, Titan 70 backs up that question. He says, reason I asked, I had a coworker whose father dug up a First Nation burial mound. The father put the mask he found on and was stricken with a sickness, and his personality was never the same. I do believe things out there that are out there like that, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
when Matt and I did our live and I had all these Native American things, like images, and what I was getting it's interesting that he tells this story because what I was
Yeah.
getting, I like I could see a mound, I got a headdress, like a picture of a headdress, a picture
Yeah.
of a tomahawk, and there was something else. I can't remember now what it was, but there was like a fourth image that I saw, and I came back and I did some research, and
Hmm.
okay, so the area that we were in is actually it's called the Holy Lands, but it isn't Holy, it's Holey.
Gotcha.
Holy Lands.
Right.
So when I did some research, apparently because the whole entire place out there, it's like a bunch of islands all over the
Hmm.
place with water just surrounding and
Yeah.
lakes and canals and waterways all over. So, but there were Indians that were native. I'm sorry, I apologize. Native Americans. I try always to be so sensitive to that. The Native
Yeah.
Americans were there and were thriving there for a very long time.
Hmm.
Um, so it was interesting that I came back and I did find some research to back up what I was feeling and what I was seeing and what I was
Yeah.
coming up with. So it was interesting. So I always try to do that, right? Like if I
Yeah.
go out and I'm getting images or I'm getting pictures or whatever, I try to
Hmm.
back it up with research. So I think the next time when we do another live out there, I think Matt and I will talk about the history of the
Yeah.
area, and give everybody some
Yeah.
background on it. So
Real quick on your live, James says your live from Everglades was awesome.
thank you. Now
Mhm.
somebody has put a comment on Matt's channel, and they are saying that they see something cross the road at I think it was I think it was 20 minutes and 33 seconds.
I'm going to write that time down because I'm going to go back and look.
Yeah, I did too. I went back and I looked. It kind of looks like to me like it's a I don't know, like a mist or something. To me, it doesn't really
Yeah.
look anything that's solid.
Yeah.
Um, I don't see anything conclusive either way. Not that I don't
Mhm.
want you to watch it, but
Right.
I personally don't see anything at that timestamp. I mean,
Yeah. So
I
if
just
everybody, like I said, if you're not subscribed to Marty, go. I've dropped her link several times and I'll continue
thank
to
you.
do it. Um, Go join her channel and watch that video because it
Yeah,
was pretty
we're gonna be
interesting.
doing some more lives. We're actually gonna try this time. Both of my boys are on it now because they're both trying to figure out how we
Mhm.
can have lights behind us because it is pitch black out there.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to figure out some light sources to have in the back of the car so we can see out the back and video out the back as well as the front.
Yeah.
So we definitely have a lot more lives planned. So
That's
definitely
awesome.
go subscribe and check
Yep.
it out. And then Matt's channel is Outcast with a K,
I can
Outcast
share
with
that
a
one too.
K, Matt, Matt, Outcast Matt, and and go subscribe to his channel. So yeah, we'll stream it to both channels.
I
And
am going to Outcast
yeah,
also.
there's
It's out.
Outcast Paranormal,
Yep, I got it right
and
here, and I will. I'll share Matt's channel as well
Oh, thank
in the
you.
link
Yeah.
also.
Matt's only a couple of hundred away from 1,000. He really is. He's, kind of put some stuff on hold for a little while,
Yeah,
because he's been working with Outcast.
gotcha.
And but he's going to be putting some very interesting stuff on his channel soon. So definitely go subscribe to his channel because he's going to be doing a lot of really, really interesting cases.
That'll be cool. Yeah, I look forward to it. And don't forget, everybody, to make sure you hit the notification too, so you can tell when, you know, obviously we have scheduled shows. However, sometimes we just get things up our rear. Let's
It
do a
does.
show. So,
Exactly.
yep. So
That's how
you'll get
my that's
notification.
how my live was, how
Yeah.
my live was
Yep.
before
And
we
make
did the
sure,
investigation.
yeah. And make sure you are still subscribed to your favorite channels, because I have had
Yes.
more issues.
Yes.
YouTube is unsubscribing people,
Yep.
and I don't understand that, but
Do you
that
know
is,
who it happens the most for me? William Nighthawk. I do not know why.
wow.
I subscribe to his channel, and then all of a sudden I'll realize I'm not getting any notifications,
Yeah.
and then I go there and it says I haven't subscribed, and then I subscribe, and
Yeah.
then and 4 times it has unsubscribed me from his channel 4 times.
Wow. Wow. I was
Crazy.
just Monday night, Hellbent Holler did a live show. And I was like, well, I'm just going to check and see if they're doing one, because I didn't get a notification. I clicked on it and I was unsubscribed. And so,
I don't know what's
and I've been subscribed to them for a long time,
I just don't
so
understand why that happens. I
yeah,
can't figure it out.
me either. Werewolf says they have a thing for William. You know what? I agree.
I
Bart
think
made
that's
this
true.
comment today on Rob's show, that they're coming after the truth seekers.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
a hundred
they're not
percent.
wanting that information out there.
I believe that's true.
Yeah. So
And it's the truth seekers that not only just speak truth, but back it up.
right,
They back
right,
it up.
right, and they're not afraid to
And
say,
they're
yeah.
yeah.
Yep, and I've noticed that too, because, like you said, I can say William could be a little controversial on some of his content. However, I do feel like he's preaching the truth. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing with Hellbent Holler. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
they go out there, their boots on the ground, and they're just replaying what they got. You know,
Yep.
so
Yep.
wholeheartedly believe that. Let's see, got more questions here.
Okay.
All right. This goes back to the Shook, I believe. Says similar accounts go back to the 1850s. It terrorized graveyards, and it is said to have red eyes that glow and is of enormous size. And then he backs it up with could even be a dogman. Maybe theories abound.
Hmm. Well,
Maybe.
my first sighting out there, and that's like I said, Matt and I really initially that was kind of what we were going to do is during the daytime
Mhm.
we were going to go to where I had my sighting. So
Yeah.
the night that I had my sighting, it looked just like our live investigation from Saturday
Yeah.
night. That's what it looks like. And it's just one lane. You
Mm-hmm.
can't fit 2 cars, and it was on all fours. Like
Yeah.
it was on all fours as it crawled up the levee, and then as it like took a step. I don't know how to
Oh,
explain
wow.
it. Like with the right leg, with its right leg, it took a step onto
Hmm.
the middle of the road, and then as it did that, it like stood up, right? Like it did that stand
Oh,
up
wow.
thing. And as it stood up, it turned its head and looked directly at us, and its eyes were glowing red. And I tell everybody it was not eye shine, it was illuminated red.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
it just looked black to me because it was pitch black out there. Like it was like you
Yeah.
saw this like silhouette with these red glowing eyes.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
people
When,
talk about that,
yeah.
the red glowing eyes.
Hmm.
It's
When we first went, very first trip to the LBL, Brandy saw red glowing eyes, eye shine. That's what she saw. I don't know. That's
yeah.
weird. It's weird.
Hmm.
A lot of
Now,
weirdness going on.
oh, for sure, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
like, out there in the Everglades, you can, like, if you and we actually did it on the live, but I don't know if anybody really could see it. Um,
Yeah.
up and down the canals when you shine your
Mhm.
light out there. I mean, you see the gators. You see
Yeah.
well, there's two kinds because if they shine like a reddish orange, it's a regular like American alligator.
Yeah.
If they shine a light kind of blue,
Hmm.
they're caimans. And caimans
Okay.
are similar to an alligator, but they don't get as big. Their snouts, like their snouts are a little shorter, kind of stubbier,
Yeah.
but they are out there. So
Okay.
if you shine up and down the canals, you'll see them. You'll see the eyes all over the
Oh,
place.
wow. Yeah, that's crazy stuff. Somebody asked real quick, and I will answer that. What's William Nighthawk's channel name? And his channel name is Nighthawk High Strangeness Podcast Channel,
Hmm.
is what it is. That's his latest one. He lost his other one, I think, because he was speaking the truth.
Well, did they like shut it down
I
or?
believe so. I think so. I don't want to quote that for sure, but I think so. So I don't know. They don't want the truth, being known
No.
out there. So yeah.
Mm-mm.
I know when we went to break, I said I would talk about my, I guess, elemental encounter. And it was, as far as I know, my one and only elemental encounter. We did a private case, and it was a huge horse farm. Beautiful place, beautiful home, beautiful barns. I mean, like literally, like the barns were just as nice as the house. It was that nice.
Mm-hmm.
And in the tack room, I seen the only thing that I can describe it. It looked like a troll to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I made the comment to a few team members, and at the time we were still thinking ghosts, and that kind of threw a red flag on me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I've never seen anything like that before. Two other teammates seen a troll type creature in a tree. They seen it at the same time.
Huh.
So, it was kind of weird. And this has been an ongoing case for several years because, I mean, the people were getting sick. She was a boarding facility and a horse training facility. And she had to quit because horses were just dying, dropping over dead. She'd get the vet out there, or she'd have University of Columbia,
Oh.
Missouri would come and test, and they couldn't find a cause for it. So, and then she was getting real sick, and so we investigated the house, the ground, all the barns, and this is when I've been doing demonic cases. It just didn't seem like it was truly demonic. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't getting the dizzy
Right.
feeling that I talked about. There's something else going on to it. So my mentors has been Jeremy Leonard, the Cajun demonologist. So I
Mm-hmm.
reached out to him, and he said, this sounds like elementals. I'm like, I never thought of that, honestly, because I've never dealt with them.
Right.
And it made sense what he had said because the land was cleared. There had been like apple orchards there. Well, the
Okay.
land had been cleared, for the horses. So it was, their area was taken from them. So he suggested, and I know Terry Mosby, she's in chat, and she was there with us. The homeowner, Jeremy, suggested that she get a couple of apple trees, plant them, and give back to them. However,
Okay.
when they start growing apples, she can never take an apple off of those trees. It's theirs. So I don't know. It's just I found that
Did
it
it
was.
work?
I think she's still having some trouble. I don't think that she's having the trouble that she was.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Interesting.
weird stuff. She said, she would leave the property and she
And
felt great.
and
But I
where
got
is this located at? Where is it at?
in Washington, Missouri, a town called Washington, Missouri. A beautiful, beautiful horse ranch. I mean, it's, picturesque. And
Interesting.
yeah, her dogs were getting sick, and it was awful for her. And this went on for a long time. I know there's a member of my team that actually is still in contact with her, and and I've put iron up all around her house and her barns, and it
Right.
just, yeah.
Yeah, you never know whether it's going to be something like that. I mean, like, when you're talking about like trolls,
Hmm.
is that what it actually looked like
What
to
it looks like.
you?
Yes, it
Like,
looked like an elf troll.
did it have clothes? Or was it
No,
just, no, it was like just like
no clothes.
naked kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't see like any like private parts or anything.
Yeah, but it just looked
Hmm.
like Gollum or something, right? Kind of
Yeah,
like something.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah. It was weird, and that's the only time that I know of that
crazy.
was an elemental. So
I
anyway.
had, at my house in that, at my other house,
Mhm.
I had fairies for sure. Like I had fairies there, and they would just they love, they're like little tricksters, and they're just like they would move things around. They would do hi
Mhm.
Lanita, and they
Mhm.
would move stuff around, and they would take things. Matt found my credit card
Yeah.
out in the yard.
Wow, that's weird.
Just things like that. Like my
Yeah.
keys would go missing, or Matt, like just all kinds of crazy things would go crazy.
Mhm.
And then I took down this big avocado tree I had, and it just was a
Mhm.
mess, and just it was overgrown, and it was too large for the property, and I
Yeah.
was just like, I got to get rid of this tree. And I got
Mhm.
when we cut that tree down, I don't know if that's where they lived, I don't know, but they just disappeared. They just
Yeah.
left. They
Yeah.
just I don't know where the heck they went. But we
Wow.
used to at one point though, we did go out and like give them like offerings, right? Like little sweets and
Mhm.
some tea,
Yeah.
like milk and some
Yeah.
sweet
Yeah.
pastry type stuffs,
Yeah.
so.
Crazy stuff, man.
Mhm.
You know what? We're coming up to the hour and a half mark, and you and I are going to need a quick break before we go jump in 30 minutes and go into the live with Brandy. So I want to invite everybody over there. Make
Mhm.
sure you hit your notifications, and it'll be streaming live. Hit us up in 30 minutes, and we'll have Marty back, and then our friend Terry, and then Brandy is with After Dark Paranormal tonight, which is Terry's group down there in Texas. So
Yes, so definitely guys, make
yep.
sure you're back in 30 minutes.
Yes, take a breather, go make yourself a drink, go to the restroom, and then come back and see us.
That's right. Join the
30
party.
minutes. Yeah, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. And if you can't
Thank
make it
you.
back tonight, watch it tomorrow. But
Yeah.
yeah, we,
And
we do appreciate
thanks
it.
everybody for all the amazing questions. They were
Yes,
great.
yes,
Thank you guys all so much. Thank
yes.
you.
Thank you for helping Marty and I
Anytime.
wing this, and thank you, Marty, for being here. Because yeah, yeah, you're
Anytime.
you're a true friend for sure.
Anytime. And you are too.
I love you.
I love you.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you in 30 minutes. Bye bye.